typical value per unit of measure, and then a calculated adjustment is required to tailor to a typical value. Here's an example here, and what happens, it's really easy to mess this up sometimes, okay? If we know we're trying to find value of an additive from January 1st to 2018, we know the value of additives is 20 grand. So the additives reflects 20 grand in this picture. We know the percent good is 72,000. We also know the land value is 50,000. So we know that additives are 20. We're assuming no time adjustment here. We know our sale price is 225. So we're going to back out. We're trying to get it. We're building a schedule now. We're building a schedule. We're not doing comparable. We're building a schedule. We're going to back out the land and the additives. Okay. We want to get back to just the house, or just the improvement. Okay. So the land's 50. The additive's 20. So we're back to 155 just for the house. And that's the RCN LD. Replacement cost new less depreciation. Now then, we want to change this to what? A new cost. We want to make it a new house. It's a depreciated house here. Out of this 225 sales prices, this house itself is 155. We want to figure out what that new house will cost. And we know that it's 72% good. So what's your first thought there to do what? Multiplying it. You don't multiply, you divide. You're trying to get to the new values. This is the depreciated value. This is the new value. Depreciated value, I divide by the percent good to get to the new value, divide by the number of square feet to get the cost per square foot. I know it's totally backwards from what you're used to doing in it. You're used to doing what right there? Multiplying, right? But you're going to divide. Let's work. I'm going to want you to work 3 problems here, because you will see some of this in your future, okay? Here's 3 problems. They're all very similar problems. We got a sales price, we got a land value, we got a metal building value, we got a percent good. We're going to find out what the indicated cost per square foot of selling number 1's living area, number 2, and number 3. But you're going to build a replacement cost new for residential properties listed below. Take the formula we just talked about. Take the sales price minus the additives minus the land, divide by the percent good, and divide by the square feet, okay? The key thing is to remember when you get here not to multiply. Because half of you want to multiply if we're not careful Thursday, okay? But you're trying to get to the new, we're building a replacement cost new schedule. So we gotta get the house to a new replacement cost new, not an appreciated value. If you finish number 1, raise your hand. I'll come look at it. Okay. It is kind of small. Let's see if I can blow it up a little bit. Is that better? Yeah. You just find the indicated cost per square foot of living area of each one of these sales. What you get? I got real close. Let me check mine versus yours. Oh, yeah. I've done a step different. I've seen it done both ways. On the first, to the first one here, you got 75,000 minus 5,000 minus 5,000 gives you what? 65,000. If you divide that by 0.65, what do you get? 100,000. Divide by 1,500, what do you get? 66, 67, something like that? Yeah. So do the other two. My example's got it divided by the square foot of 0.65, it gets you the same answer. I've seen what you're talking about. If we had the money they wasted, we'd be retired.
Oh, yeah.
Get it working? Yes. Yeah. See, if we build a cost schedule, we know that a 1,500 square foot house from 1,500 to 1,550 would kind of give us a range between, you know, 66, 72, and $68 a square foot for a cost. But the key thing again, I'll say it, is when you try, you get an appreciated value, you gotta turn it into a new value, but dividing by the percent does not multiplying. If you multiply, you further depreciate it, further than it already been depreciated. You got the sales price minus the land and amenity, you get to the RCN LD, that changes the RCN LD to RCN, so you divide by that number. Yes. There's opportunities in the Metroplex apartments. And the street is, by the way, too. Easy. That's the correct.
Lots in the street, right here.
You should get something sort of like this in the answer columns. I may have done it a little different, y'all did it. You got your minus, divide by 1,500, you can divide by the 0.65 here, either way, it comes up the same. You got, should be about 66, 67, 67, 92, and 68, 80. I've changed something, haven't I?
Yeah, something's different.
Yeah.
Number two's different.
Yeah.
This is different here.
Yeah.
Like a,
I've changed something in my formula, so don't
yeah.
pay attention to number 2, okay? What did I change?
You
The minus
the
part.
I know what it is. I put a metal building in it, yes.
Mhm.
It's only got, look here, there's no metal building. I think that's what it is, hang on.
No, it was 7,500.
Yeah. 7,500.
Yeah, it should be 7,500 though.
Yeah.
There we go.
There it is.
We're back on track. So you do these things and you just think, God, what did I screw up and confuse them further, you know, but anyway, I can generally fix it.
Well, it's RTDQ practice. I see what you're doing here intentionally.
We're just trying to get you confused. No, I'm just kidding. The main thing though, I'll go back to, is divide by this percentage good in these problems, okay? You're trying to build a cost schedule, talk cost schedule new, not a cost schedule used, okay? Okay, let's move on to the next thing here. We're gonna talk about some multipliers. I kinda like multipliers. Some people don't like multipliers. Let's talk multipliers a little bit. I'm on page 79. Rent multipliers are useful when appraising small commercial residential properties. Here's the PGR minus the BCL equals the EGR. So the question asks you, what's the difference between the PGR and the EGR? What would you say?
Vacancy inflation.
B and C. Remember to use the same level of income against the appropriate multipliers. Here's an example. Potential gross rent multiplier equals the potential gross rent multiplier times the PGR, or the effective gross rent multiplier. And also, it'll give you whether you're using an annual or a monthly multiplier, okay? Here's an example. A rental residential for $225 with a monthly rent of $22.50. B and C in this area is 20%. Calculate a monthly PGR and EGR. So PGR is going to do what? The 225 divided by 2250 equals 100. The EGRM, 225, effective rent multiplier is 2250 times 80%, or 125 is the EGR monthly multiplier. The annual potential gross rent multiplier is the 225 divided by 2250 times 12 equals an 8.33 potential gross rent multiplier. And the effective gross rent multiplier is 225 times 2250 times 12 times 80%, or 10.42. Is that too much information too fast? We know it sold for $225. We know the monthly rent is $22.50. So that's going to be what? Potential gross rent in it. So that potential gross rent multiplier is going to be real simple. 225 divided by 2250 is 100, okay? Now the effective gross rent multiplier, we know that it's monthly rent is 2250, but we know the vacancy collection is 80%, so we want to calculate the 80% before we do a multiplier. So we're going to multiply the 2250 times the 80%, or 20% off of it, multiply times minus 20 and 80% equals the same thing. 80% occupied, 20% vacancy collection loss, gives you a 125 multiplier. Annually, all we're going to do is multiply everything times 12. So read your question carefully. If it says a monthly multiplier or an annual multiplier, if it says potential gross rent or effective gross rent. Potential gross is the maximum rent, and then the effective gross is backing out the B and C. Does that make some sense? We got some more of these we're going to work in the problems at the end today, of the day. We'll work some more tomorrow, on Thursday. So they're pretty straightforward, really, okay? It's just a multiplier, and you got to remember to read what says monthly, what says annually, and then you just divide it out. Wow. Okay, let's move on. Here's what's the value of the subject if it has a rental rate of $2,400 a month, and we're using these multipliers. we had a picture gross rent multiplier of 100, effective gross rent by 125, annual of 833 and 1042. So we got a, what is the value of the subject? It has a rental rate of $2,400 a month. So the first answer would be 2,400 times 100, be $240,000. Straightforward, just monthly rent times multiplier. Effective gross rent multiplier, take the 2,400 times the 80%, which is a 20% BNC loss, times the 125 multiplier we got over here, gets you the same answer, $240,000. Now we go to the annual route, taking our multiplier of 833 and 1042, we take the 2,400 times 12 times the 833 is 239,904. It's really close to our 240. And we do the effective gross rent multiplier, 2,400 times 12 times 80% times the 1042, it is 240,077. Everybody pretty cool with those multipliers? It's a real simple way to value a property. It's not a highly complex property. It does have a income stream. Everybody good? Here's some formulas. This is added GRM formula, sales price divided by monthly rent equals GRM monthly. Subject to monthly gross rent times GRM monthly equals a value. I'll try to email you all these PDFs tonight, the email addresses. I sent them to him last night. And that way, they're a lot of pages, but yet this stuff I've added is in there, it's usually in red. Just kind of, I encompass this based on some information feedback in the prior year's material. Okay, so we do something right here. Now, I'll do it later. Need to move on the next line, but I'll do that later. Sales price divided by the annual rent gives you a gross rent multiplier annually. Subject's annual gross rent times the gross rent annually equals a value. GRM are typically used for residential properties rather than a high complex property. Gross income formulas, the sales price divided by the monthly gross income equals the GIM monthly. Subject monthly gross income times the GIM equals a value. Sales price divided by annual gross income, GIM annually. Subject's annual gross income times the GIM equals the annual value. Typically used for large multifamily and commercial properties. The income multiplier. Remember, if you look at you got an A or B behind it, it means something I threw in there extra, okay? Let's talk about the land development method. We're not going to spend a lot of time here, but we're going to make you aware of it. It involves time value of money in some cases. Enables appraiser to estimate the value of the undeveloped land being considered for development. Steps in the development method, you analyze the market, determine what the proper way to develop the land. Look at comparable sales of tracts that have been developed. Estimate and subtract expenses to arrive at the value of the raw land itself. And discount that value back to a present value, present worth of money. So we got the situation, we projected we're gonna have $10,000 lots times 75 lots. We're gonna generate $750,000 in income. Our overhead, our site development's gonna cost us $82,000. It costs like $1,000 a foot to build a road in Wise County.
$1,000 a foot.
It's about $1 million worth around in Midland
I think it's a foot.
for
Is that $1,000 a foot?
a subdivision.
Well, I guess with the asphalt and all that
I'm
stuff.
talking about building from scratch.
Yes.
It's $100 a foot.
All the
$100 a foot.
curves and-
$100 a foot, it's 30 foot wide, you know what I'm saying? That's the base, everything built up. It costs a lot of money to build a road nowadays. The county's got real high specs, and they got inspection processes, you gotta put bonds up in case it doesn't perform. It's really a pretty expensive project. $82,000 won't build much development. Overhead expenses of 75, profit and interest of 80. The total expenses of 237. The value of the raw land, not considered time, was 513. Estimated selling time is 5 years. It's rated 6%. This present value factors come from a chart. So our indicated value of the raw land is about $432,000. But we're talking about what's the land worth today in projecting this 750 in the future. But I haven't had anybody tell me they've had to do one of these on their exam, so I'm hoping that holds true for y'all too. The stocking debt method is the same situation. I haven't heard much feedback, but your example on page 81 talks about how they arrive at that. It's an alternative market approach used for income properties which seldom sell over market. Sometimes they don't sell about their stocks and their bonds. Based on accounting principles, if the assets equal the total liabilities and capital, there's a formula there on page 81. Market value equals value of capital plus liabilities. That might be something you might see, that formula. I go back to this big old formula here lately. Let's talk about analyzing capital stock is trading at $150 a share. There are 10,000 shares outstanding. Bonds are trading at $50 for each bond. And there are 9,000 issued. So we go through the balance sheet, talking about the cash on hand, accounts receivable, total current assets, total long-term investments, plant and equipment, that's depreciation. Is the total assets of $1,780,000. And we know that our other assets, we know our liabilities, we have accounts payable, notes payable, expenses payable, long-term liabilities. Then our capital comes down here, we got $120,000, that's a liability, hang on. Our capital got 10,000 shares at $150 a share. We got 9,000 bonds at $50 a bond. We turn that into 260,000. Our total value using stock and debt method gets us $2,430,000. Just a way of trying to estimate the value of the real estate when you don't really get a lot of information from them. You go to the balance sheet, and the balance sheet should equal a situation whereby as their market value should be the value of capital plus the liabilities that are outstanding. Now we got some practice problems here. Let's do 1, 2, and 3 first. Let me see. Let's look and see. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 1 through 5. Do 1 through 5, and we'll check those. Then we'll look at 6 and make sure the right page before we do 7, 8, and 9. Okay? So this is allocation methods. Some of it's not covered in your outline, by the way, but we'll cover it. We'll get it smoothed out when we get here. Okay?